Imagine earning $174,000 per year. Now, imagine living on just $44,225 per year. The first figure is the base salary of a U.S. congressional member, while the latter is the median income of an average American. But wait, there's more. This $174,000 is just the tip of the iceberg. Congressional members often enjoy an array of additional income sources. They might have significant stock holdings, or perhaps they're involved in private ventures. They might be invited to give lectures, for which they're handsomely compensated. And let's not forget the other benefits they receive thanks to their lofty status, the kind of benefits that most of us can only dream about. Now imagine, if you will, the life of a middle-class American. It's a life filled with struggles and hard work. It's a life where $44,225 isn't just a number, but a reality that dictates every decision. A reality that determines how much food you can put on the table, what kind of house you can afford, or whether you can send your children to college. Understand this: the people passing laws America, the people deciding the fate of programs like Social Security, are the same people earning $174,000 per year at a minimum. These are the folks who have the luxury of additional income from stocks, private ventures, and speaking engagements. It's clear that the financial reality of those passing laws is drastically different from those affected by them. The American House Republicans recently passed a bill that could cut Social Security by more than $1 trillion and raise the retirement age. This bill, crafted in the polished halls of Capitol Hill, is more than just ink on paper. It's a potential lifeline or a potential setback for millions of Americans. At the heart of this bill are the leadership of the Republican Study Committee who advocate for it. They argue that the changes are necessary for the long-term sustainability of Social Security. They contend that the system, as it stands, is financially untenable, with the trust fund projected to be exhausted by 2034. They believe that by raising the retirement age and reducing the overall payout, they can ensure the system's survival. But let's take a moment to look at the key players who authored and support this bill. High on this list are the representatives who penned the legislation. Their names are etched onto the pages of this bill, their reasoning and justifications woven into its clauses. However, it's worth noting that this isn't the first time Congress has dipped its hands into the Social Security pot. Over the years, funds have been diverted from Social Security to cover other costs, creating a financial strain on the system. After each diversion, the same refrain echoes from the halls of Congress. Social Security, they say, is not financially feasible. Yet, it's these very actions that have contributed to the financial difficulties they decry. Records of these transactions are shrouded in mystery. Now, we must ask ourselves, who are the vocal government officials championing this bill? The members of the Republican Study Committee, like Representative Kevin Hern and Speaker Mike Johnson, sit in their comfortable offices, far removed from the harsh realities of the working class, advocating for a bill that could drastically affect the very people they are supposed to represent. These are the faces and names behind the bill that could drastically change the future of Social Security in America. As we move forward, it's crucial to remember not just the bill itself, but also those who stand behind it, shaping the narrative and potentially the future of millions of Americans. The future of Social Security hangs in the balance, with predictions of a 20% benefit cut within a decade if no action is taken. It's a looming crisis that threatens the financial security of millions of Americans. But how did we get here? Social Security, as it stands, is on shaky ground. Projections indicate that the retirement trust fund could be depleted by 2032 if current policies remain unchanged. The ramifications of such a scenario are sobering. A significant reduction in benefits for retirees, many of whom rely on these payments for their livelihood. Now, let's consider the new bill. Its advocates argue it's a necessary measure to cut spending and address the nation's debt ceiling crisis. However, critics argue that it merely shifts the burden onto middle-class citizens, potentially raising the retirement age and cutting benefits. What's more, it fails to tackle the root causes of Social Security's instability. The need for reform is urgent, but it's a contentious issue fraught with political tensions. Various proposals have been put forth, such as increasing payroll taxes, adjusting the cost of living adjustment formula, and yes, even raising the retirement age. Yet these solutions are not without their critics, and bipartisan cooperation has been sorely lacking. It's a complex situation, and one that requires careful thought, open dialogue, and above all, action. The clock is ticking, and the longer we wait, the harder the choices will become. As the debate rages on, one thing is clear: the future of Social Security is a concern that affects us all, and it's time for a reform that serves the many, not the few,